Hey everyone, Draker here, and I'll be casting a 1 versus 1 today on the map Delta Quadrant, which is a relief because I'm sick of watching Metalopolis and Zelnaga Caverns. It's annoying. Anyways, we got Lair here as the red Zerg on the bottom left, and on the top left, we got Willow as the blue Protoss. So we got a nice VZ here. Um, which I haven't really seen in a while. Well, good matches at least. I mean, it's usually PVT or TVZ or ZVZ, but Zerg versus Zerg games are incredibly boring. They're like 6 to 8 minutes long, and they're all just Zerglings, Banelings, and Roaches, and that's about it. So yeah, let's see what goes on here. As we do have a scout on the way here by Willow, as he does have a pylon at his choke, so he's going to be working on making a wall in there. Um, Now it does look like Willow is going to scout the wrong way, as his probe is carrying around a nice chunk of diamond in his mouth. If probe, I don't even think probes have mouths. Anyways, we have an Overlord also on the way here by Lair. On the way, scouting the total wrong side of the map for his opponent. Now we do have a gateway now on the way here at 12 supply by Willow. Very normal to get the gateway at that supply, as he is still working on that wall. We'll probably see him put down a cybernetics core either behind this pylon or right next to the gateway. Now we do have a hatchery. Wow, we have a hatchery on the way here for Lair. In the base, instead of going for a quick expand, he's just doubling up on the hatcheries here in his base, as Willow is going to spot that. Now, we do have a simulator on the way here for Willow, so we definitely are going to see some early stalkers on the field. Now, we do have a spawning pool now on the way for Lear, as well as an extractor also. So we're probably going to see him get quick metabolic boost, and he's most likely going to spam Zerglings until it gets to about mid-game, and then he'll probably transition into Mutas. That's the only thing I can think of as going for dual hatchery right off the bat in the base. This is Brood War style right here. Freaking awesome play. Now we do have a scout over here by Lair in the corner, keeping an eye on things, making sure nothing flies in, no drops by warp prisms and whatnot. As we do have another second assimilator on the way for Willow as well, so he's definitely looking to get gas heavy early in the game, as the cybernetics core just does finish, so we should be seeing, as that zealot finishes also, we should be seeing a stalker get queued up any minute now. As there it is, there goes a stalker. Now, we do have a queen now on the way for Lear. We probably will see him go dual queens, as that hatchery did finish. Now, this is pretty smart here, as he built the hatchery right next to his main. And it's actually close distance here for the extractor, closer than going to the main hatchery. So he'll be getting gassed faster than his opponent. Although technically not right now, because Willow has two assimilators up already, as Lurs was just working on one. Now we do have a spine crawler getting built here by the mineral line, very normal, just in case there's any harass going on here. He'll be able to pick them off with the queen and that spire. Now we do have Lear is keeping control of the Zelnaga tower here with a Zergling, so he'll keep an eye on things. As one Zergling just ran up to that Zealot, and that Zealot denied that entry. Zealots look pretty cool, huh? Pretty sweet. As we do have a forge now on the way by Willow, as well as another gateway, so we're probably going to see him put a cannon by the mineral line, keep an eye on things, make sure there's no overlords flying from the back, and do a little drop or Nidus Network right into the mineral line. You rarely see Zergs use Nidus Network. There's a couple epic games that, there's one of them I casted, there was this great use of Nidus Network throughout the whole map. I think it was Metalopolis, and they had Nidus Networks at every base. I mean, he was able to transfer an army of 200 from one point of the map to another in like 2 seconds. He just had Nidus Networks everywhere. Even if one destroyed, there was another one up right next to it. Now we do have great composition here of units by Willow. He's definitely looking to do a mixture of units, as he'll probably push out with a handful of units at the start, since he'll probably have like few sentries, a couple stalkers, and probably a few zealots. As I mean, if you have a good variety of units like that, you can push out with a handful instead of waiting till you got a good size. And we do have tier 1 ground weapons on the way for Willow, as well as 2 photon cannons, and we also have metabolic boosts on the way, as well as an evolution chamber for Lair. So Lair is definitely looking to get tech heavy in this game. Now we do have Lair is also going for second base, far away from the bottom right side of the map spawn. He's looking to keep that hatchery away from his opponent, so it can, well, for one, so his opponent doesn't know that he has a second base, as he'll probably be scouting the natural. And two, I mean, he can build units there safely in buildings without without his opponent knowing, especially with his opponent being on the left side of the map with him. I mean, the distance for attacking, I mean, they're just one little path here. You don't even have to bother going to the right side of the map, as we do have Lure is pushing out all his speedlings over here. Looks like he is going to get ready to try taking this high yield expansion, as he is building more Zerglings, so he's definitely going to spam speedlings at the start until, like I was saying, mid-game. Then he'll probably transition into Mutas or Ultilis. Willow is now pushing out with his handful of units. Like I was saying, a bunch of sentries, 4 sentries there, 4 zealots, and a stalker. Pretty common unit composition here to push out, because he's got a bunch of sentries there. He can do a lot of damage with those units, because he can just force field those units, the army of his opponent, and separate them, especially block this flank here by Lair on the choke. He can just force field it, block those Zerglings, and pick off units from the inside. Now, we do have tier 1 melee attacks almost done here for Lair, so he's, like I was saying, he's definitely looking to go tech heavy for ground units, especially for his speedlings, as he has a ton of speedlings on the map. Now, we do have a Robo Bay on the way for Willow, as we'll probably see him build some Colossus, which are real great against massive Zerglings. You just fry them to nothing. I mean, you get the extended Thermal Lance, and they die like in a heartbeat. Now, we do have a second Nexus on the way here for Willow, or I should say one Nexus, second base, so he is now looking to take over his natural. I'm actually surprised he didn't destroy that one base behind his main, which is more safer, but he does have a pylon there to keep an eye on things in case Zerg decides to fly in some Mutas or something when he gets to it. We have another Spire on the way here by Lair, most likely at, where is it? Oh, it is right by the second hatchery there, as he's building everything real close here. I mean, look at all these Zerglings. Let's go to units here. 69 Zerglings on the field already to the handful of units that Willow has. So as soon as Willow goes to attack, he's in trouble. We do have 2 more gateways on the way, as well as 2 more photon cannons on the way for Willow in front of this natural here, so he's definitely looking to defend that. As we have a surround here by Lair with his Zerglings, and Willow doesn't realize what's going on as he's trying to spread those units away with the force field. Wow, look at that. He's trapping his own units in with the force field, trying to survive that harass there. Or attack there by Lair, as he is now trying to retreat with those units, and I don't think he has enough energy to do any more. Only one more force field, and he is going to lose all those units, but that was great. Lair went to go in for the surround, and those force fields just pushed all the Zerglings back. He was able to kill a few of them, but not enough, and he just lost all his units, as we do have a push out now here by Lair with his massive Zerglings, but there is a bunch of probes. More Zealots are warping in right now. A bunch of probes are getting transferred here. I'm surprised he didn't pull them off to defend against this, but there is enough photon cannons on the field and a bunch of Zealots to defend against that counterattack there by Lair. Now we do have 14 more Zerglings that are getting queued up by Lair. He is straight going to stay Zerglings until later in the game. I mean, I'm kind of surprised. Usually by now, go right and go to a Lair and get your Mutas, but he's just staying Speedlings and probably going to tech as high as he can before even transitioning out of this massive Speedlings phase. Now we do have a Colossus on the way for Willow, which is great. That's going to counter these massive Zerglings there, so definitely a good choice by Willow, as he does already have one on the field. As it looks like Lair is looking to push out now with a ton of Zerglings here, and it looks like he is going to push out to the natural of Willow's base, but there's a photon cannon and a bunch of Zealots as it's trying to run into the main of Willow, which was a bad choice, as there's Zealots blocking the way, and that Colossus is just frying those Zerglings to pieces. As we have more Zerglings are finishing right now, and that second Colossus is just about done for Willow, and looks like Lair is now going to take over that high yield expansion next to his base. So he is definitely going to have an economic advantage here, as he's going to be working on 3 bases, and that high yield is definitely going to give him a huge, huge advantage. Now we do have tier 1 ground armor on the way for Lear, as well as a spore colony, or crawler. I don't. That's a little random, as Willow hasn't even gotten a Stargate yet. But we do have extended thermal lance on the way for the Colossus, which is what he needs to deal with this massive Zergling build here by Lair. Now, Lair is now going to be taking that high yield, as he does have a drone on the way to build that hatchery. I mean, he got a little ghost hatchery there until it builds. Now, we do have a Twilight Council on the way here for Willow. Where is it? Looks like it's over here. So that's he's definitely gonna research some stuff there. I want to say, I wonder if he's gonna get. Trying to decide on what research he's gonna get first, but because he has such a great unit composition here, I mean, it really, I don't even know. He's probably gonna get charge legs. He's probably gonna get charge for the zealots instead of blink for the stalkers, just because he has more zealots, and that charge is going to be pretty good against all these zerglings. I mean, there's more zerglings getting queued up here. It's ridiculous, as there's 22 more zerglings on the way for Lure. Lure is just trying to stay with massive zerglings here. I mean, I think that's a poor choice for him right now. I mean, Willow is straight up countering it with these massive Colossus. He knows what's coming. Now, we do have a Templar Achieves on the way, so we are going to see some High Templars on the field. He's most likely going to research a Psionic Storm as soon as that's done, as feedback is kind of pointless against Zerg. Now we do have more Zerglings. That's a ton of freaking Zerglings. And for some reason this game seems a little laggy. I don't know why. This is weird. I don't have anything uploading. Or do I? No. Maybe I do have a video uploading. That could be a reason why. Apologize if the lag seems a little bad at the moment. Do have another Colossus is just about done for Willow, as well as tier 1 ground armor is now on the way for Willow, as well as that Templar Chiefs is just about done, so we are going to see some High Templars get warped in, and most likely we should be seeing Psystorm get research, as that's going to be deadly against all those Zerglings, as there's still more Zerglings getting researched here by, built here by Lure, as that Psionic Storm is now getting researched by Willow. Now this is just ridiculous. He's also building more spore crawlers, and I don't know why, because there's not even a Stargate on the way for Willow. I'm guessing the spore crawlers are going to be for the. I don't know. I think it's kind of pointless to build spore crawlers, regardless, unless there's air units on the field. I mean, he doesn't even have them pushed out here to deal with. I don't know. I think that's kind of stupid. We do have a push out here by Willow's extended thermal lance are done now. We do have tier 2 melee attacks for Zergs on the way for Lair, so that Zerglings are going to be able to do some damage if that researches before the Willow does push out. But I don't think he's going to, as 24 more Zerg. I need to go to unit composition here. 142 Zerglings on the field for Lair, as a bunch more just finished. And we do have Burrow on the way for Lair. Lair is just massing Zerglings. This is just ridiculous. We do have attack now coming in here from Lair from the side. There's a ton of Zerglings, as we do have more gateways warping in here. Ton more gateways getting warped in here. But this natural is done, as he has nothing to defend. As he knows, his Colossus are going to be able to retreat back to his natural before anything bunch of damage is done, and force all those Zerglings back. Now I'm happy that the lag's better, but anyways, now we do have the damage is done in the main of Will's base, although his mineral was almost fully mined out, although he lost a ton of probes there, as he was forced to retreat back to his base and fry the rest of those Zerglings. So damage is done. Definitely a great attack there by Lair. Managed to get a bunch of probes killed, not too many buildings, but I mean the probes are really what hurts you. I mean, if you don't have enough minerals coming in per minute, I mean you're in trouble. You just can't do anything. I mean, there was a word I was trying to think of, but I couldn't think of it. So yeah, look at all these freaking Zerglings. This is the first time I've ever seen any Zerg player go massive Zerglings this long into the game. I mean, it's reaching to about late game. It's definitely past mid-game, as we're in freaking 18 minutes already. He is still massing Zerglings with more Zerglings on the way. Now, the tier 2 melee attacks are just about done. Now, we do have a third hatchery, third hatchery on the way, or technically 4 hatcheries.